Part 2 of the National Building Code of India defines the legal accountability required for the built environment. It establishes the administrative framework that dictates how every professional is held responsible for the integrity of their work. Modern construction involves a complex collision of owners, architects, contractors, and inspectors. The 2016 revision of the code addresses a specific challenge: managing the safety requirements of a sophisticated built environment while maintaining the necessary speed for business and development. The formal solution to this challenge is contained within the National Building Code of India 2016, Part 2, Administration. The code defines safety as a matter of rigorous legal liability. Every professional decision is recorded, every deviation is tracked, and every signature carries statutory consequences. We will analyze the mechanics of this system, the multidisciplinary team of building officials, the strict matrix of professional competence, and the specialized two-stage regulatory gateway. This administrative process serves to catch procedural and safety oversights during the design phase, aiming to neutralize risks before the physical assembly of a building begins. At the center of this framework is the authority having jurisdiction. Defined in Section 2.4, this is the statutory body created to administer and enforce the code's requirements. To execute these duties, Section 6.2 mandates the appointment of a team of building officials. This is an interdisciplinary unit comprising specialists, engineers, architects, and planners tasked with the technical scrutiny of every proposed project. The team's composition scales with the project's impact. For sites over 1 hectare in metro cities, a town planner is required for layout scrutiny. At the 5-hectare mark, a landscape architect must be added to the official review team. Under Section 6.4, the authority may delegate these powers or outsource the technical work to competent professional agencies, ensuring expert review even in smaller jurisdictions. To prevent conflicts of interest, Section 6.7 strictly prohibits building officials from engaging in construction work or the preparation of plans for any project that intersects with their official duties. Transparency is maintained through Section 6.8, which requires the authority to keep detailed public records of all applications, permits, orders, and inspections. This centralized structure creates a single point of professional accountability, ensuring the state's oversight is as rigorous as the private sector's design. The 2016 code addresses bureaucratic delay through Section 11.1.4, the Integrated Approval Process. This is the code's primary tool for streamlining development. Rather than forcing owners to visit dozens of offices, the code establishes a single window approach. The authority coordinates directly with fire services, the airport's authority, and environmental agencies to consolidate all clearances into a single permit. Efficiency is enforced by Section 12.10.2, mandating a 30-day response window for the authority to sanction or refuse a plan. If they fail to respond, the applicant issues a notice. If another 15 days pass without reply, the plan is legally deemed sanctioned. This process is further optimized by Section 12.1.1, which directs the authority to move towards computerization, enabling online submissions and automated tracking. For smaller-scale developments, residential plots up to 500 square meters, Section 11.1.5 empowers registered architects and engineers to approve proposals and certify completion themselves, assuming full legal responsibility. By shifting the burden of speed onto the regulator and enabling professional self-certification, the code aims to facilitate development without compromising on oversight. Professional responsibility is governed by the competence matrix in Annex A. This section ensures that liability is only assumed by professionals with the registered qualifications to manage it. For instance, a registered engineer is authorized to handle structural details for buildings up to 5 stories or 16 meters in height. This table illustrates the hard thresholds of the code. Once a building exceeds 16 meters, the standard engineer's jurisdiction ends, and a registered structural engineer must take full control of all design and calculations. The 2016 code also formalizes the role of the geotechnical engineer, making them mandatory for the subsurface investigation of the site. Higher-level qualifications are tiered. A supervisor is limited to residential buildings on plots up to 200 square meters and 2 stories. Larger developments, those exceeding 5 hectares, require the mandatory association of urban designers and landscape architects to oversee macro-level planning. Section 12.9.1 requires every professional to maintain an active connection to the project.
If they disassociate, they must notify the authority in writing to clearly define where their liability ends. The code treats professional competence as a legal boundary. Operating outside of your registered classification is a punishable violation of the building law. For special buildings, defined as those 15 meters or taller, or specialized occupancies over 500 square meters, the scrutiny is intensified. These projects require a mandatory two-stage building sanction under Section 12.2.5.1. Stage 1 is planning clearance. At this stage, the authority evaluates how the building interacts with the public environment. This includes reviewing access for fire appliances and the efficiency of the vehicle turning circles. Fire service requirements are paramount. The plan must demonstrate clear motorable access ways around the entire building perimeter. The clearance covers internal life safety features, the dimensions of exits, the location of fire lifts, and the design of smoke stop lobbies. This is also where accessibility features for the elderly and persons with disabilities are locked into the plan, as per Part 3 of the Code. By clearing Stage 1, a project demonstrates its spatial capacity for evacuation and accessibility, setting the baseline for public safety before the structural design is even reviewed. Once Stage 1 is sanctioned, the process moves to Stage 2, building permit clearance. This focuses on the structural integrity of the high-rise. This stage requires submitting Annex J, a formal certificate verifying structural safety. The structure must be built on verified data. Annex H requires a subsurface investigation report by a geotechnical engineer, detailing soil bearing capacity and foundation depth. For complex or sensitive projects, the authority may exercise its power to mandate a peer review, where a third-party expert must proof-check all structural drawings and design calculations. Finally, the owner and the structural engineer must jointly sign Annex C, certifying the building's resistance to earthquakes, floods, and other natural disasters. This second stage treats structural safety as a tri-party verification, ensuring the design is backed by geotechnical reality and expert peer review. The transition from a construction site to a habitable space is managed by the occupancy permit, found in Annex P. This is the final gatekeeper before a building can be used. Crucially, Section 13.1 states that receiving this permit does not relieve the owner of their full responsibility for maintaining the building in accordance with the code. For high-rise and special buildings, Section 14.4 introduces periodic occupancy renewal. The building's safety must be re-verified through physical inspections every 3 to 5 years. These audits examine fire safety compliance, structural health, and the continued functionality of accessibility features. If a building falls into dilapidation, Section 15 grants the authority the power to declare it unsafe. This allows the state to mandate repairs, order an immediate vacation, or demolish the structure to protect public welfare. The liability matrix is built on these pillars: specialized professional silos, two-stage sanctions for high-risk buildings, and perpetual life cycle audits. Part 2 of the National Building Code ensures that safety is managed as a professional and perpetual obligation, codified into every signature and every inspection throughout the life of the building.